Hello, welcome back to this week's vlog. First off, excuse my attire, worse than ever, but we're doing a lot of maintenance at the moment and painting, so old clothes it is. At the beginning of this week's vlog, we want to kind of show you a little bit more of Icarus Falconry. We want to sort of tell you why we think you should come to Icarus Falconry and what it's about, because, fingers crossed, at the end of this month, as per the government's roadmap, COVID is kind of easing a little bit on us, and at the end of this month, we are able to open to our Experience Day guests once again. Okay, so we've kind of kept you guys updated over the past 12 months as how we're getting on here or not, but how we're hanging in there thanks to the Homeby estate as a whole and the help they've provided to us, and of course to our amazing staff here at Icarus Falconry, without whom, you know, the place wouldn't exist. Of course, it's everybody's expendable, but as a team, you know, without the team, it can't exist, can it? Everyone is expendable. We all say that in business, oh, anyone's expendable, but as soon as you start taking away a piece of the jigsaw, you haven't got a jigsaw, and we rely on these people to help us as part of our team. They are us, they are the team, to sort of keep the place going, and you know, we can't thank them enough for how we've got to this point so far. Now then, what we've also said in the vlogs is that we're not doing sort of, if you like, GoFundMe begging kind of pages, because the reason being, although we've had no government help whatsoever, the reason we haven't set up GoFundMe or other kind of begging, kind of charity kind of pages is simply that we feel if it's that dire, we've got to ask for you to just give us money for nothing, so to speak. We feel that then the place could fold, and we've taken your money for nothing, you know, propped it up and it's folded. And because we've got such a great team here, we knew and we were confident we'd get through this, and we are getting through it, and it has been tough. But all we've asked for in our vlogs is that, you know, I have to say, there's been people that have sent us donations, and absolutely we are so grateful. Small amounts, large amounts, and taking nothing away from those guys, absolutely fantastic, and we thank you so much. So I must put that in there. But what we've asked you as the wider audience is, if you are able to, or you'd like to go on an experience day where you can fly birds of prey, wild and free, but you're wearing a glove, they're flying to you, all we've asked is, you just go on the website as per normal, you buy yourself or a loved one one of our Experience Day vouchers. They last a full 12 months, and of course we've been extending them due to last year, and support us in that way. Or indeed, as some of you already have, be part of our bird adoptions. That gives us a little bit of funding and goes a very long way. So all we've asked is really people support us, and in every single full-on lockdown we've had no support at all via sort of website sales, or absolutely minimal. It's been very strange. We don't know if it's because people want stuff they can have at home and have now, or we don't know whether it's people thinking, oh, I'm not buying a voucher for something I might want to use in 6 months, or for my mum's birthday or whatever, because maybe that business will have folded by then. We don't know what it is, but as soon as lockdown ends, thankfully the support comes, the phone rings, the website starts selling again. It's been a very strange pattern, because we don't need money on the gate. That's not how we open. It's always been a system of you go online, you buy an Experience Day voucher, and you use it in a 12-month kind of period. So it's been very strange for us to handle. It's getting back to normal now. We really feel like it is. The phone's ringing, we're getting support, and we're allowed to actually have you here to do the Experience Day sessions that you've actually bought. So we're going to ask the girls in a moment what they get out of coming here, and also why they think you should come here. Now, I think you should come here, not just to support us and keep Icarus Falconry alive and growing. I think you should come here because you get to have the most amazing experience that you will never forget. We never get a bad rating. We've always been sort of top in Northamptonshire on TripAdvisor for what we do, because you can't fail to enjoy it. You're flying birds of prey, wild and free, flying to you. You're kind of a falconer for a day, a bird of prey trainer, a bird of prey handler for a day, or rather a half day, depending on the session. But not just that, in a field somewhere. We're in the amazing grounds of the Homeby estate, and that means we fly birds like a tawny owl in a woodland copse natural habitat. You can get to fly kites or vultures maybe in the Arches field. On certain days you might even get to fly on the front lawn of the house, some of our bigger birds of prey. You get to fly at the top field with absolutely astounding Northamptonshire countryside views, maybe flying a Chilean blue eagle buzzard. So it's not just the fact you're handling and flying birds of prey wild and free, you're doing it in the most amazing setting. And if you go on the website, links below, Icarus Falconry, you'll see the prices. It's not expensive. We run groups of no more than 5 participants, less on some of the experiences. It's almost 1-to-1. So it's not a group of 10 or 12. Come on, let's go on a Harris Hawk walk. No way. It's an intimate experience, and that means not only will you get the wow factor, the enjoyment, you get to learn a bit, because we're going to educate you guys while you're here, but not in a boring way, just part of your fun. You're going to learn a lot of stuff about falconry and about the birds of prey in general. Our staff are massively keen on vultures and vulture conservation. So if you buy the correct experience flying a vulture, and vultures are amazing, you will learn so much about them, and hopefully you'll go away from your experience not just smitten with the whole idea of what you've done, but you'll have learnt something and you'll care. And if you care and love something, that's when conservation begins. But that's enough of my waffle. I'm going to hand you over to the girls and see what they've got to say about the place and why we think you should come here.
Well, I love just being outside in the fresh air. I've always liked being sort of outside and things like that. And I just love being around the birds. They're wonderful animals, and it's a great team to work with. I love working with Joe and talking with Dave and things like that. I think you should definitely consider getting a voucher, because it's wonderful to be up close to all the birds, and you get to see all their personalities shine through, and you get to sort of really interact with them. So we hope we'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Jo, and some of you have probably seen me here at Icarus Falconry if you've been on an experience day. I love working with the birds, but I also love telling people all about them and educating them about the plights of some of them in the wild, because I like conservation too of the birds. So that's quite an important part of it for me, and mostly about vultures, because I absolutely adore vultures, and I like to get all you guys to adore them too. So if you want to come and see my vultures and have a go with them, which you really should to appreciate them more, come along on an experience day, come and fly my birds with me and have some fun and make loads of memories, because that's what life's about, making memories. And I have the best job in the world because I make memories for people, and what could be better than that?
Who's this, Emily?
This is Spot. He's coming back from having a rest. He's quite broody at the moment, which is why he's calling lots. Hey, Spot.
I can hear an echo. Who's that?
Oh, that's Roscoe, one of our European eagle owls. He's also really broody, so they're having a bit of a chat.
The standoff, like.
Maybe, yeah.
So have you just been flying him, training him again, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think he's ready to come off the training line now. It's just keeping his attention. He's too busy talking to Roscoe.
Yeah, he's like that most years, isn't he? It'll fizzle out, won't it, soon? And
yeah.
he'll get his head back into work mode, I suppose.
Everybody's just having a bit of a spring feeling.
Thanks, Emily.
Right.
We let the spadefoot toads go. Make them some little finger holes to get down in. In fact, actually, they look warm enough they're going to dig their own holes, but we'll give them a head start. Next up are the little pool frogs. We'll get those in. Oh, before they get away. Hey! Marble newts and green toads. Beautiful little things. Marble newts are just out of this world. Look at those. Gorgeous things. Let's pop them in and settle them down. Last but not least, the beautiful slow worms, of course. Well, we're up here at Icarus Falconry today. We're in our absolute scruss because we've got a lot of maintenance to do, and it's kind of stopped raining, so we're going to carry on, or Jackie's going to carry on painting the aviaries and the standoff barriers for sure. But have a look at this now. This is our, remember this was the burn pile when we cleared this area here and started turning it more into a wildlife area. And we planted this with sort of woodland plants because it's shaded through the summer months. And we've got my favourite things of spring or early summer, these lovely foxgloves. So they're a biennial. They grow from a seed in their first year, and the second year they put on more growth and send up their beautiful foxglove flower spikes, which of course are an absolute source of nectar to bumblebees, really important food source. We've got a few other things. We've got some red campion got in here. We've got hellebores, Christmas rose, but it's the foxgloves that I'm really pleased to see growing up. We've got a silver birch tree randomly in here, as well as a self-set buddleia, I think. We'll just see how they go, and we'll manage it to suit as the plants grow and see who's doing well, who's not. But come and have a look at this over here. I'll just fall off the edge here. So it's not finished yet, nowhere near, but my sort of little pet project for my outdoor enclosure animals is taking shape. So we've got under there a drainage area, which you might have saw as we constructed this, so it doesn't fill up with water. Here it's going to be more of a compost area, and it's a damp corner which will fill up to really hold worms and slugs for the slow ones. We've got comfrey there, which is going to cover that area. Remember, these plants have just been put in. You've got to have a bit of forward planning to how it's going to look. We've got a few spring flowers, just because if nothing else they're a woodland edge plant and they look gorgeous, the primroses. The pond obviously looks utterly rubbish at the moment. Have a look, it's a square plastic stack and store tub really. Keep watching these vlogs because this is going to transform. You won't see the edges of that whatsoever. It's going to be all planted around. It's going to have water plants in there, and for some of the inhabitants of this enclosure it won't just be for drinking. So what's in here at the moment? We've got our common lizards, we've got our slow worms, we've got marbled newts, which are stunning, we've got European green toads, we've got European spadefoot toads, and we've also got our small pool frogs. There is also a small amount of edible frogs in here, but to be honest, as they grow they're likely going to be moved out because edible frogs have got big old mouths and they'll probably eat our pool frogs, if nothing else, probably even the lizards. So they're in there now, they're semi-hibernating, it's 9 degrees, but what we have found is once the temperatures hit sort of 10 or 11 degrees on a sunny day, things have started to emerge. Have a look round in there, and then they've disappeared again as it cools down. So drainage is under there. We've got obviously pond, we've got a composting damp area. Under the whole centre here is a hibernaculum, and then again under this bit of wood here is a polystyrene box hibernaculum to give it ultra insulation with an entrance tunnel. Obviously it's drained underneath, but under here, accessing the rocks at that side, is a lot of hiding places which then enters into the log and stick and dead leaf hibernaculum. So we're really hoping we can just leave the animals that are in here all year round. The downside is, of course, I don't like netting, but this netting, I've got to say, is pretty see-through, especially when the sun's out, being black and thin. And this is here, as you've seen in earlier vlogs, to keep off the corvids. Every time you say corvid, you almost accidentally say COVID now. It's become a word, hasn't it? But we have a lot of jackdaws here, and jackdaws, and if you watched the last week's vlog, you'd have seen me say jackdaws and then swap to magpies for some reason. Both are a pain for this kind of thing, but jackdaws around here are numerous, and they're very intelligent, and when the slow worms and common lizards come out early spring, they're very, very cold, they can hardly move, they crawl out to soak up the sun, get up to active temperature. The jackdaws will just pillage a lot of them, so this is to keep them off, absolutely. Keep watching the space because it's going to evolve. Oh, by the way, that's going to be a heather area there, natural heather area. Keep watching this space as it evolves because I'm looking forward to seeing it look really great. It's a bit like building an aquarium. You know, using naturalistic or natural plants, building them up, letting them mature and grow, managing it so it looks beautiful and works beautifully well for the animals in there. Keep watching. It's a really early flowering, nectar providing plant that bees absolutely adore, bumblebees and honeybees and any other bees you can think of, as well as a multitude of other insects, because comfrey flowers right through into the summer, and although it makes a thick mass, which you may or may not like, I'll tell you what, it looks really great around a water feature as well. It's really suitable habitat for it. It's almost quite commonly found on damp woodland edges and stream banks. It provides a real haven, and you can see on this here today, just warming up for spring, it's been a really good place for ladybirds to spend their winter and hibernate. Sadly, they're mostly American harlequin ladybirds, which, as many of you know, are kind of ousting our seven-spot ladybird species and others. They're invasive species from America, which shouldn't be here in the UK. To most of us, they're just ladybirds, but they thrive in a far more prolific way than our native ladybirds. We basically outcompete them and probably even eat the larvae of our own ladybirds. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm pretty sure I've read that. It's been researched, but like any invasive species, you know, they shouldn't be here, and we don't want them here. But to any child, they're still pretty gorgeous little ladybirds, I guess. You can see the honeybees are working hard today. Just a little bit of sunshine. They're working better than my phone focus. There we go. We've got honeybees, we've got solitary bees. Haven't seen my first bee fly yet, that amazing bee mimic. But if we get a bit of sunshine here, it won't be long at all. And at Icarus Falconry, we get an awful lot of different species of bees, as well as the bumblebees and honeybees. We've got a lot of solitary bees. We've got old sandstone walls with lime mortar, which is quite a very soft traditional mortar, which is easy for the bees to sort of bore into, some of these bees that live in such a place. And we've got, here comes a bumblebee. We've also got sandy areas of soil under the lawns here, which are really also important for other bees that dig down, solitary bees, into the soil there. Just trying to find you something I can see. Look at this tiny little insect, little fly. Look at it. I think it's trying to show off the ladybird, but beautiful markings on its wings for courting its mate and talking to others. Again, I can't see if you can see those. There they are. Look at them. I'm presuming they're two males there, having a bit of a standoff. You don't need big game. You can start right at the bottom of the food chain with mini beasts. Absolutely stunning, mega interesting, and in many cases, beautiful creatures too. Right.
A rare species cooking in the kitchen.
And also, what I'll tell you is, cooking a nice little yummer without a glass of wine in my hand, I'm finding very distressing indeed. Blooming wagon. As always, thanks for watching the vlog. Check out our other videos, but don't click off of this video right now. It's the end of us, but have another look at our amazing Icarus Falconry promotional video. It is fantastic. It gives you a great taste of what to expect.